here. We're going to answer a question that I see quite often, especially on that drive-through video. I always see comment after comment after comment asking, do you know about hearing aids? I'm curious if you remember when we started dating. Did I ask you that? Because before, I was more ignorant to deaf culture. The thing is, I don't really remember me asking Ryan those things because Ryan's reaction was, or reply was always so understanding and actually took my question seriously. He never like brushed it off and was, you were always so kind consistently through our relationship in the beginning, and it's allowed me to really understand you better and that part of your life better. Will Java help you remember? Come on, Java. Come on, Java. Before we answer this question, we want to thank our sponsor for today's video and our sponsor who has been supporting our channel for a while, Skillshare. They're an online learning community with thousands of classes that you can take from home. One of the classes you can take online at Skillshare is the Beginners ASL class. It introduces you to the basics of ASL, and also it teaches you the ABCs. It teaches you even some deaf history, which is really interesting. And you can sign up with the link in the description down below. The first 1,000 people who sign up with that link down below will get 2 months of premium membership for free. So, why don't you use hearing aids? How do you feel about hearing people assuming that you should get hearing aids? Or just because you're deaf, you should have hearing aids? So hearing aids don't help all deaf people the same. This is because each person can hear different frequencies at different levels. So some people can hear maybe a little bit of a specific frequency, whether it's low or high, and if they can hear a little bit, then the hearing aids can help by increasing, can assist with that specific frequency because there is some residual hearing. But some deaf people might not have any hearing ability at that frequency. So if that person can't hear at all at that frequency, then the hearing aid's not gonna be able to assist. Hearing charts look different for everyone. Deafness is really unique to that person. And that's why hearing aids aren't a for-all solution. But for someone who doesn't have those, even no matter how much you amplify or make it louder, there's nothing there to receive that information. A lot of hearing people think hearing aids are a solution or cochlear implants are a solution, but they're all just tools for helping someone hear better, if that's their choice too. The technology might not be able to assist enough for that person for it to be beneficial. Why not want to identify as a person who speaks or uses that? I'm just taking the hearing perspective to ask you questions, even though I know the answer. How is it communicating if you tell somebody or you let somebody assume that you identify as someone who speaks and or interacts that way. Is it more tiring to communicate that way? From what I see is that a lot of hearing people, it's in their mind, they only have two boxes: deaf, hearing. There's nothing like in between. So it's either, oh, you're deaf, and so, okay, we'll try to gesture or do something different. But if you even hint that you can hear a little bit, okay, now you go into the hearing box. Okay, there's nothing like understanding. Okay, I can. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're not subscribed to our channel, subscribe and turn on notifications so you guys know when we upload a new video. And we'll see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.